I'm Donald.
And I'm John.
And we are back starting a brand new show, another Disney Plus show. I feel like every week we're starting a new Disney Plus show. Who would have
I,
thunk it?
every week they're starting a new Disney
Yeah,
Plus.
right.
Well, I mean, this is the first time we've had something that's been on consecutive,
Yeah,
both
I was
on
gonna
the
say, is this
exact
the
same
first
time.
time they've been we've had overlap where they're on at the
Yes,
same time?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, because it's two different franchises, so
Yeah, but I felt
typically,
like they
right?
were kind of doing gaps. They would do a Marvel
Yeah,
show, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
they would
yeah,
do
yeah,
Star
yeah,
Wars,
yeah.
and then go back to Marvel. But now they've got
They're
so
just
much
hitting us with a
stuff
lot.
coming out that they have to
Yeah.
overlap.
Not really complaining, not really complaining. It's a lot of cool stuff starting. But anyway, we're talking about specifically, everybody's like, what the fuck is it? Jesus Christ. Miss Marvel. Um,
I mean, everybody who didn't read what they clicked on.
yeah, true, 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 true. Why am I talking like we have a live studio audience? Miss Marvel, Season 1, Episode 1, Generation Y, which I thought about this, as I was preparing to call you guys. I think that's the name of the first issue of the comic book. And while we're talking, I'm going to pull it up just to see for sure. Is Amazon closing down the Comixology app? They are, right?
Amazon is fucking up the Comixology everything.
Yeah, they really are. I think that's part of it. I think that's one of the fuck ups is that I
Yeah.
think I read that they're just going to make it so that you read your comics through the Kindle app.
Yeah, but do you? Because I mean, this is okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think that's what they're
I
forcing you to
just
do.
I just read the DC Pride comic that came out.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good, but it was such a pain in the ass to read because I read it on my desktop, on my laptop. But I read it through the web application for Kindle,
Mm-hmm.
and it's terrible. I don't know why they just didn't use the Comixology technology that they already had. They bought it.
Right.
Why not just use what was there? Just put your name on. But
Right.
no,
Right.
they had to, like you said, they had to force it through the Kindle prism of reading, and it's terrible. It's a
Yeah.
terrible reading experience, and I hate it.
Um. Why do I feel like? Okay, maybe I was wrong, or maybe this isn't the first one. Maybe I am. I think I might have the wrong thing open. This isn't the first issue. Duh. Anyway, I'm gonna pull it up and find out for sure. But I'm almost positive that's the name of the first issue of Miss Marvel. But anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about. It dropped last week Wednesday. We're talking about this on Sunday, June 12th. I was really excited for this because I have read a lot of the comic books. Well, the original series by G. Willow Wilson. I read all of that. And then it was taken over, and those I bought all of them, but I've not read them. And I'm a big fan of the series, what I have read. So I was really looking forward to this. I think, John, you were also, you're probably, after me, more familiar with this character than Donnie, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have not read any of the comics, but I did see when I was on the Comixology part of Amazon or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's included now, for free. At least the first two volumes of
Oh,
that
it's through their,
from Prime. Yeah.
yeah.
So you can, if you have a Prime membership, you can read those first two volumes.
And
But
you should.
and I haven't read those, but I was familiar with the character and her ability and all that shit.
Right. Which is
And for,
interesting because now it's different than
Right.
than the comic book. But Donnie, how familiar were you with the character?
So I played Marvel's Contest of Champion on my phone.
I was just going to ask.
She's a character in that, so I knew she had the stretchy ability.
Stretchy?
Well, Mr.
I know.
Fantastic.
I'm just teasing.
In the game, it comes off with Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's why they changed it.
Yeah.
Right, and then I played the Marvel Avengers game that came out, I think, a year or two ago on consoles and computer and all that stuff. And the way that game starts out is you play as Kamala Khan, going to a convention. So you're just a normal girl at the convention, and all the other Avengers are there and stuff like that, and then they get attacked. I didn't know that was her kind of like origin. And then the show does the same thing where it starts the convention. So I'm assuming the first comic book is the same thing. She goes to a convention.
No, it's different.
She doesn't. I was like, wow, that's just interesting that the video game did the same thing and the TV show did the same thing. I just wondered if that was her origin.
Yeah, I don't think it was a well, we'll talk about it, but go ahead.
No, that's pretty much, that's all I know. It's just from the video games that I've played. Mm-hmm. But that's it.
The big deal, apparently, not apparently, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. The big deal, additionally, in addition to it being the first time that this character is live action, is that the character herself is a big deal. She's a teenage Pakistani American Muslim with superpowers. Don't think that's been done before in Marvel, at least. I don't pretend to know all superhero, in all cultures, but I would assume in Marvel this is the first time, right?
Yeah, I think she was. Yeah, I think so.
And in terms of the show, she's played by, oh my god, I don't want to mess up her last name. I told myself I wouldn't do that. Her first name is Iman. And I wasn't familiar with, I think she did like one other pretty big thing that, people knew her from. But I wasn't familiar with it because it's not necessarily my market. Was that the Babysitter's Club? Was that what she was in? Let's see.
I don't see anything. Yeah, sorry, I talked over you saying her name, Aman Vellani.
Yeah.
But no, I don't see anything else listed.
Oh, then maybe I have her completely mixed up with someone else. I thought this was the girl who was in one of those either Babysitter's Club or why is the other one? I'm drawing a blank. Oh, well, this is even better.
So this is her first thing.
Yeah.
So that makes. Did you guys watch that interview she did with one of those talk show interviews? I shared it.
Not yet. I have like 3 or 4 saved in my watch later YouTube thing.
So it's just, I love, and I think what's his name plays Spider-Man. Same thing. Like
Tom Holland.
Right, and she talks about how when she was younger, she found this comic. Like she's been a fan of Miss Marvel since she was little. Mm-hmm. So and then
like she dressed up
as Halloween and stuff like that. Right. She had her own costume and she went. So and then they compared that to Tom Holland, because Tom Holland was the same way. Like when he was little, he dressed up as Spider-Man and then she said she really connected with this character because it's Pakistani and all this stuff. Like she's been in love with this character for years.
I'm sorry. Did you catch how she first was in love with Iron Man, and through Iron Man she found Ironheart, who she's also getting her own series.
Right.
And then through her she found Kamala. I just love that.
Yes.
Yeah. That's kind of like a really nice.
Right, and then it just makes it even better that it's just not an actress playing a role they don't know. It's an actress that is playing something that they love. And you could see that when she's acting. Like this is something this is a dream of hers. So.
Yeah.
And Tom Holland's the same way in Spider-Man.
And that's the thing about this character, because that's Kamala Khan, is that she's a fan of the heroes, especially Captain Marvel. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that you have an actress basically doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I saw a video. Speaking of videos, I saw a video today where they asked her to name all of the MCU movies in a minute. Did y'all see that one?
No, I haven't.
And I think it's 20.
Could she do
movies. It? She got through, a lot of them. But the funny thing was that when it ended, she was like, "Oh, what did I miss?" And this person behind the camera was like, "Well, you forgot Captain Marvel."
Yeah, because how would you even, if somebody challenged you to do that, how would you even, approach that? Like Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3.
Yeah, that's what she did, yeah.
Captain America, Winter Soldier, Civil War,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what she
Methodical.
did.
Boom, boom,
I
boom.
think that's
Yeah.
what she would say is like 1, 2, 3. I'll name all the ones that have sequels and then try to get the one-offs that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like she missed I think the Hulk, which I mean, understandable.
Well, forgiven. All right, so let's talk about this really quickly. Not the episode. I'm sorry. Who's behind the camera? The directors, and it looks like there's only been. Well, first of all, there's going to be 6 episodes to this season, and it looks like there's only 4 directors, and it says they each did 2 episodes. So I don't think there's any overlap. Is there 8 episodes?
I can there's Adil and Bilal. They did the first one and they're going to do the 6th one. And then do you want me to name the others?
6 on IMDb.
Do you want me to name the other directors? Or do you want to do it? I just have them in front of me, so.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I know I do too, but I'm confused as to are there episodes in which there
might be 2 directors.
Adil and
okay.
Bilal are a directing team. So they both
okay.
They're
Got
both
it.
doing 2 episodes together.
Got it.
They're also doing the Batgirl movie.
The what?
The Batgirl movie.
Did they take that from Joss Whedon?
Yeah, probably. Hopefully.
Wasn't he like attached to a Batgirl project?
I think so, probably. I don't remember. I think he was, yeah.
Okay, go ahead. What are their names, John?
Oh, sorry. So the next... So 2 and 3 are going to be directed by Mira Menon.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 and 5 are going to be directed by Charmin Obaid Chinoy.
Ah. Yes. I am assuming.
And those 2 are women.
Yeah. Mira Menon is an Indian American director. Let's see. Charmin Obaid.
But
is that how you say that?
It's the same thing as Moon Knight. They're keeping it like they're keeping it where it's
right. They had Egyptian artists.
Everybody's Middle Eastern.
This one is she's from I'm sorry, Charmin Obaid. Is that how you say it?
That's how I read it.
Okay. Chinoy. She's from Pakistan. Khalil Falal. Sorry, I'm like I got my new bifocal, so I'm trying to like read with these things on. Old lady mode. Let's see what information. It doesn't say where he's from. Well, he was born in Belgium. And so you said these 2 are directing team, right? Adil El Arbi.
Yeah, and Bilal Fallah.
Okay. So did they direct? They directed the first episode.
Yeah, they directed the first episode, and they're going to direct the season finale.
Okay.
So they're going to bookend it, and they did the most recent Bad Boys movie. That's like the big thing that they've done before this.
Okay, now, all right. So, and now I'm looking at the writing credits, and so great. So Adrian Alfona or maybe it's Alfona, and G. Willow Wilson are listed as writers on the show as well. Well, no. I guess, are they just getting a credit because they created the character?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because it says Miss Marvel / Kamala Khan's created by, and they're the only 2 that have. Okay, no, Fatima Ashgar wrote the episode, and then the story teleplay by Will Dunn. Also, Kate Gritman has a writing credit. Okay, so several writing credits for this episode. It looks like.
This first one was Bisha K. Ali.
Created for television by written by.
Who also wrote on Loki and some other shows.
And then Sana Amanat, based on a character by. That's right. It's her and G. Willow Wilson and Adrian Alfona. I think those are the 3 that created the character from Marvel. Okay, so again, premiered last week. We just got the one episode, which was good because there was a lot of TV last week. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Especially
a lot of TV, movies coming out.
Right?
Everything.
Right? It was a lot last week, especially for someone like me who was already, like, I didn't binge Stranger Things like most people did. So I still had to catch up on that for the podcast. And then, like you said, there was movies that came out, plus The Boys. I feel like there was one other thing. Obi-Wan, which we'll be talking about next week. We're doubling up. So this dropped on Wednesday. I'm assuming everybody here, and by everybody here I mean the three of us, loved it, right?
Oh no, I hated it. No, it's terrible.
Donnie, I know you loved it, and honestly, I was a bit surprised that you loved it.
Oh, it was just very well done. It gripped me immediately. It was just everything about it with the artistic styles of. I think I just read something that's like Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
And just it reminded me a lot of Spider-Man. It had a lot of that feel to it too.
She's very endearing in the way that Peter Parker, or I should say, Tom Holland's Peter Parker.
Right.
To me, is endearing in a way that the others weren't.
And it didn't bother me that it made the world feel small. It's just in this kind of like small town area, but the Avengers are still in the background, like as a story. But it felt the universe isn't big yet. As far as this is, it's just kind of like the Spider-Man, where it's just kept in this small little town area before it gets big. And I'm just like, I was on IMDb looking up, following you guys with the director stuff, and people are they're review bombing this, and I'm like, why? Is it?
Oh, you know why?
Like they gave, I think the users gave it like a 6.0, and
you know why?
I thought so far this is one of my top Disney Plus Marvel shows.
Well,
as far as this episode goes, it's
you're not a racist piece of shit white man.
So,
but I'm liking this so far much better than Moon Knight.
I feel like this has the most, like, you can see the fingerprints of the people making it. I felt like this was very much like these guys, like, making this show, like I don't know, like an auteur or whatever, you know, like you can see that they have a style that they want to implement onto the show, and they did it really well. I was reminded of, like, y'all remember the movie Dope?
Yes.
By Rick Famuyiwa. I was reminded of that, and I was also reminded of, I don't know if y'all have seen it yet, but Turning Red, the most recent Pixar movie.
I haven't seen it.
No.
Yeah, I was reminded of that, and I mean, I also watched Everything Everywhere All at Once today, and that also, like, there's like a familiar, like, feeling to, like, the stylistic choices. I feel like, and also, like, there was specifically one scene in this episode that reminded me of Black Panther, where the camera turns upside down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I was like,
I tweeted the little clip of how they shot that with the camera on that, like, tilting. You know what I'm talking about? Like, did you see it?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, yeah, like, she actually, like, she's sitting. How do I explain it? Like, the camera just basically moved with her, but they had, like, this contraption to tilt the camera as she fell backwards. And, of course, like, you could see somebody, like, standing by, you know.
Right.
Because, you know, if it went bad, it could have been bad. But, yeah, I know what you're You mean, like, when, what's his name, walks into the throne room?
Yeah, he's like, hey, auntie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, my point is, like, you can feel the artistic fingers on the show, and that's just great. And I do feel like, because the character is so, like, part of the character is being aware of heroes and being a fan of heroes, and the fact that, like, it just feels like the show is embracing that with the, like and we've talked about it before, like with other stuff, like the like pop culture kind of reflecting itself, where like you'll see in this where they talk about, I think they talk about Star Wars in this episode. They talk about like Disney. I think at one point, obviously, because those are Disney properties, so they can do it very easily. But like the point is like it's the referential nature of being a fan of something. I feel like they're really embracing that with the character and just kind of leaning into it. And that's great. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I loved it. Don't really have a lot to say other than like to repeat a lot of what you guys said. The way
so
it
does it ruin it for you guys knowing like she's going to be in the Marvels, and they announced that like before, like when this show was announced, that they also announced that she was going to be part of that movie. That we already know that she's going to be a big part of the MCU.
No.
Okay.
Why would it?
I don't know. I just don't. It doesn't ruin it for me or anything.
I mean,
like
it's like
she's going to be a big character, and I'm glad that it came out the gates really good. I do think that I do feel like we will see Miss Marvel in this show by the finale.
You think so?
Captain Marvel, yeah, I do.
That's what I thought you meant.
Yeah,
just being a smartass.
I feel like we'll see Captain Marvel, and that'll lead into the Marvels movie.
Yeah, that would be great. Did y'all see? This was something. What was the name? Her YouTube channel that she has on the show.
Oh, something sloth.
Something sloth. Yeah, something sloth productions or whatever. There's a channel on YouTube that I don't know if it's official or not. It was created like months ago, so it seems like it would be official.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look official. Like it looks like someone, like a fan, is just making it. It's so weird.
Sloth Baby.
Sloth Baby, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Sloth Baby Productions. And I don't know, it was just cool. I just looked it up and to see if, like, because I assumed they would have it, and I don't know if they do or not. But it's either way. It's
just
cool.
like
they might. Somebody just shared that the boys did one, I guess, called Soup Porn. And they actually made it into an actual website.
Jesus Christ. All right, so let's talk about it. And by the way, I think Generation Y is the name of like an arc. So maybe not a specific issue name. You know what I mean?
Maybe like the title of the first paperback. Maybe that's what it is.
No, I mean like there was like an arc of the comic book. So it would be like Generation Y Part 1, Generation Y Part 2. There was an arc within there. I don't know if they eventually, when they came out with the volumes, if it was, it had its own volume. But I think that's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, like you said, like you both said, the introduction to the show immediately says that she is a fan of the Marvel universe, so to speak. It just happens to be her universe, particularly Captain Marvel. She's a big fan. I felt so bad that her videos didn't have more views. One video had like 5 views.
I mean, listen, like having 5 views is pretty damn good. I gotta say.
But I mean, just in terms of like the work that she put in.
Yeah.
Like that was pretty cool the way she did that. It was just like a brief history on Captain Marvel, and apparently, and I like this because they use this to give us background information too. Apparently, some people view it as she has abandoned Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's she been doing now, that type of thing. And then her next video is going to be, she's making the case for why Thor is a secret gamer, which is true.
It's so great because, like, he is.
He is.
And so, because, like, how does she know? It's like, how, like, did she run across him? Like,
that was one of my questions, because she brings up Valkyrie at one point. And I was like, how do they know about Valkyrie? Like, there's some characters. It's just interesting that real world people would know that they exist.
Because remember, we also find out Scott Lang has a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
he has guests. Yeah.
And he before that he had his magician shit, right?
His what?
He was a magician or whatever, right? Wasn't he doing like magician? Like,
Oh, I haven't seen those movies.
Oh.
I hope Ant-Man 3 opens up with him going to podcast.
I mean, I've seen like some of the first one.
That's how what is it? Randall Park's character in WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
He comes from those Ant-Man movies, and he does the magic trick with the card.
Ah, that's where that comes from. Okay.
Yeah, he learned it in one of those movies.
Right,
and then
right.
Shows it in that show.
In WandaVision, that's right.
I will say, just really quick, I looked it up. Miss Marvel Volume 1 is called No Normal, but Volume 2 is Generation Y.
Ah, thank you. Oh, it's funny just because I distinctly remember, because I covered it for the website, so I was reviewing every issue, and I just distinctly remember writing, Generation Y part, whatever. Mm-hmm. She also fails her driving test, which
she was so confident.
This was so I really thought this was gonna go differently and take a little bit longer than it did.
You know how, like, I know you have like a problem with secondhand embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know you've mentioned that. I don't usually, but that I was like, I'm so embarrassed for her. I was like, I can't watch this.
Well, everything because the scene, I have it on this background, in that scene in the gym when the basketball hits her in the face. Same thing, like, because she's just jumping around, like bouncing around.
Yeah, that was
boom, hits her in the face.
Yeah, if you don't, it happened so quickly. The second time I watched the episode, I noticed that I was like, "What was she doing?" Like,
right? So she's just bouncing around.
It was like she was kind of dancing. Here. It's so funny. And then at school, we peep the passive-aggressive racism of the man not getting her name right. Some small bullying with the girls refusing to move from in front of her locker. She's like, I'll just Google the periodic table. Which I'm trying to remember if that's an element of the books. Like, I don't remember, like, this core friendship that we're introduced to. So, not Nakia. I say Nakia, but it's probably, no, is this Nakia? I'm trying to remember how they said it in the show. How would you say Nakia?
That's how I would say it.
Yeah.
That's how I would read it.
But now I'm thinking, I'm like, is that how they said it in the show? I'm trying to remember how, if anyone pronounced it. But anyway, Bruno, obviously, and who am I forgetting? Who else did we meet at school? Oh, Zoe.
Yeah.
The girl that she bumps
the most
into.
Popular kid in school. She's got like followers on the internet, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because in school she didn't come off as popular. Because when they meet her, she's on by herself on the stairs, and it wasn't until like they said, oh, she's got a huge following on YouTube. And I don't think it wasn't until the convention that she really.
Well, you get that they used to be friends, right?
Right.
Like she used to be in their friend group because she says something like, Kamala says, should we ask her to give us a ride to AvengerCon? Yeah.
Because her mom took her.
Right. So it feels like it's one of those things that, you're friends when you're younger, like middle school age, and then you get to high school and somebody blossoms and becomes popular. Yeah.
Right.
Somebody becomes a member of the basketball team.
Right. Exactly. So, but this is weird because it felt like I don't know what to make of this relationship, like this whole, like the whole bumping into her and the, oh, I like your necklace. Like, I don't know. Like, it felt like at first, like they were playing it like she's kind of like a bully. Like, it's not like a, I don't know. Because then later when she shows up and she's wearing the Captain Marvel cosplay, and she's like, why does she, like, she doesn't even like Captain Marvel. Like, it felt, I don't know. I'm just curious to see where they're going with this. Because, again, from the comic book, I don't remember the relationship. Like, it wasn't adversarial like this, I don't think. But this feels a little adversarial, and I'm just curious as to why.
Yeah, it feels like they're gonna have her because you know how the episode ends
Mm-hmm.
with her maybe recognizing that that was Kamala,
Right.
and then so the idea that we know that she has like popularity like on the internet, and
Mm-hmm.
so it might be one of those things where like she outs her to
Right.
like get a popular video, and
Mm-hmm.
then that kind of thing, where like maybe she like because they used to be friends, and she's just trying really hard
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be popular
Yeah.
and like selling out, I guess.
Um. And then we have Mr. Wilson, which I'm going to assume this is a nod to G. Willow Wilson, right? Because his name is Gabe Wilson, the counselor,
Yeah, that sounds
right?
good. Yeah, I mean
He
that makes
tries too
sense.
hard. He tries a little too hard. But he means well. And basically, the narrative is we get this from him, we get it from her mother, that she just has her head in the clouds.
Right.
So
And
she
he's
gets hit in the face with the volleyball. And what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say he's the principal.
No way.
Yeah.
I thought he was counselor.
I thought he was a counselor.
Yeah, Principal Wilson. He came over like the speaker, like, "Ooh, I need you to come over here. You're in trouble." Nah, I'm kidding.
I know. Oh my God. That's why he tries too hard, because I was like, he's trying too hard to be that, like, you can talk to me kind of counselor. This is even worse.
And it doesn't, because principals usually don't talk to students. Like it's the counselors that talk to them about their grades and talk about their future.
See, he's trying to be this new Generation Y.
Yeah, it's new wave. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it feels like like an art school, like an art high school, like the school in Fame.
Yeah. A performing arts school. Yes. So we learn about Avenger Con, and Kamala wants to go and it's the first ever Avenger Con, by the way. And she wants to go as Captain Marvel.
I said you can tell.
Yeah. Well, y'all stop. I saw somebody in the chat in our Facebook group kind of shit on it, looking low rent.
I mean, it does.
But I mean,
it's home of Captain America.
Hey, are those like Walker Stalker guys still in business?
Probably.
I thought something happened with that, right? Wasn't there like a dust up? I thought there was. Remember? And then like the guy who plays
A dust up were they at the Capitol?
Yes. I can't believe I said that. But oh my God.
I don't
Who's
remember.
the guy, the Jerry? You know, Jerry with the Kang, Ezekiel?
Yeah. I remember him, yeah.
So Jerry, the actor who plays Jerry, he like went and did a live, and there was like apparently like money owed to some of the talent, and then apparently there was one weekend where the actress who plays, oh my God, why can't I think of her name right now? Daryl's like boo thing. She's deaf. She's in the Eternals.
Carol.
Yeah.
No. Daryl's boo thing. That would be Carol.
Oh, I thought you said his mom. My bad.
Anyway, apparently, like, she was treated really poorly, and he, like, went the fuck off about that. But anyway, I thought there was, like, receipts on them just kind of, like, being terrible as people and business people.
Apparently, they're going to still have one this year. So.
Okay. Good luck with that. Anyway, we learned that she made the costume and Bruno airbrushed it, but she still needs a personal flourish, which I didn't realize was a thing in cosplay. Like, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
you want to
can
make
be.
it. Yeah, some people will change it up just a little bit to kind of give it their own signature.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like it can be like you can try to be accurate, like it can
Like
be
super authentic.
100%
Yeah, yeah.
accurate, or you can be like, oh, well, I want to change it this way. Like I know that there are some black women that I follow who are cosplayers who they'll take a character and imagine it as if it were a black woman.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Or gender
Yeah, like gender,
changing.
yeah, gender
Yeah,
swap it,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Or they'll mash them up. I like the mashups.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true.
Yeah, like the
Mix
idea
the
of a
characters.
Hulk Captain Marvel.
Zombie
Well,
Captain
I think
Marvel.
she brought it. I think she brought up or he brought up the zombie one.
Yeah. I just said that.
Yeah,
Literally.
I
Did you
know.
hear me,
I was
John?
speaking over you.
Okay, okay. Um, I like how they did that because this is their. Oh, and I don't know if I said this, but she lives in Jersey City, and there's this great scene where they're talking about that, right? Like what she can do to this costume to kind of give her personal touch or to stand out. And they're on their bikes riding through the streets, and as they're pitching different ideas, we see that being displayed as like a moving mural
Yeah,
along the buildings as they're riding by. I love that
Yeah,
because you
that
get like a
was
feel, like you're following what they're saying. It looks cool, but you're also kind of getting a feel of the neighborhood,
yeah,
which I will tell you, the neighborhood itself, like the people there, what it means to be from there, like that in itself is a big part of her story. So I'm glad to see that it seems like they're sticking with that, including, I don't know if you guys caught this, Nico, including the scene where I think it's her mom, she's shopping, and I think they stop at like a newsstand or something, and the guy behind the counter, he talks about basically like the neighborhood being gentrified.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Did he say the name of the corporation?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, okay. I was curious if they tossed that out there.
I do like that they keep saying Jersey City.
Yeah.
Like they say it repeatedly, like, oh, that's not something that girls from Jersey City do. And then
Yeah.
like one
Yeah.
time, like when she loses her bike and she's like, what are the percentage chance that my bike will still be there when we get there? And he's like, in Jersey City?
I like how like he just said what the audience was thinking.
Right.
Everybody was just like, dude, that bike is gone. Um, I like the scene where she's shopping with her mom because her brother is getting married, and we learn through like the kind of like neighborhood gossip, like how in their community, in their culture, how girls who are different are viewed.
yeah.
And the girl that they're talking about is someone who was going to get married, but she called it off and she was traveling instead.
Traveling the world.
Yeah, and you would have thought she was like dealing drugs. And so I like when Kamala is like, I think it's cool. The guy, the tailor, he's like, oh, this one's trouble.
Yep.
But I did like how that was like a nice, way of showing why she is so, like why her mother views her interests the way she does.
Yeah, and why she's like so eager to like, break out.
Right, right. So she asked to go to AvengerCon, and her parents say no. And
A party? No.
I was like, in their defense, she didn't sell it right.
No, like they kept calling it a party, and she didn't say it's not a party. It's a convention.
Right. It's like you basically should have set it like up like it's basically like a mall. It's like going to the mall, except you pay to get in.
It's a job fair, really.
Basically.
Like you're gonna put in some application.
Same thing. I like her brother. He's so different than I thought like he would be. In the comic books, he's kind of annoying. At least that's how I remember him. But here, I actually thought he was kind of cool, including kind of going to bat for her, like agreeing to go talk to them.
Right.
Because as she points out, it's unfair. Like they didn't treat him the same way. He was able to do things that she apparently is not allowed to do.
Yeah, like when she's trying to get them to say, "Oh, let me go to the convention," and then they say no. She pulls her brother over. Oh, but if it was him saying it, then you would be like, "Yes, yo, it'd be great." Right?
Amir. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure I had his name right.
Mm-hmm.
And I should remember that because that's my cousin's baby's name. Except she is just Amir. His is Aamir. And he has a magnificent beard. Jesus.
Yeah.
That is a pretty cool beard. Hold on. I'm pulling him up on IMDb. That is his beard, too.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I just thought, they put on a fake beard. For
Maybe.
CGI.
I don't know why they do the things they do in Hollywood.
It's a really good beard. I mean, you never know. It could be fake. I loved her whole family. Like, I thought they were just really good. They had a good dynamic. I loved her dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved the chemistry between her and her parents. And you can feel you can feel that she just wants to be her own person.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time doesn't want to hurt her parents.
When the box arrives, and this is presumably a box of, like, the mother says quite darkly, I think, she wants to get rid of all of her junk before she dies. I assume she's talking about her own mother. And one of the things in the box is this bracelet that when the mother sees it, she's like, this is junk, go put it in the attic. And it's clearly not junk, right? We see later it's what gives Kamala her powers. Mm-hmm. So at first I was like, between that and then her mother later saying things like, I've seen what happens to girls who live with their head in the clouds and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. At first I was like, I wonder if her grandmother had powers. But now I'm wondering if her mom had powers.
It was her mom, because she said her mom was a daydreamer just like her.
Yeah. She says, like, I come from a long line of...
Yep, and my mother was a dreamer just like you.
So
and I
think,
her mother had the...
No. But what I'm saying is I thought that it was her grandmother, meaning Kamala's grandmother.
Yes,
and
Kamala's
so that's why she
yes.
sent the bracelet. But now I'm wondering if it's Kamala's mother.
No, I think it's still her grandmother. Because I think her mother... Because her mother says... says her mother was a dreamer just like her.
But
and I was
but here's the thing. When she says, is this Nani's? When she picks up the bracelet, she doesn't say yes. She gives one of those TV answers that says, this is a foolish girl, something or other. So I was like, but is that a yes?
Yeah, the mom knows exactly what it is.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
So, and I don't know how she would know unless she's worn it before.
Exactly. I think it's hers. Which then...
I would expect both her and her grandmother to have...
Exactly. That's what I mean. I feel like her mom knows firsthand. This isn't just like when she says those things like, I know what happens to girls who love, that because she's been through some shit, I think, is what I'm trying to say. And then it made me question the scene where Bruno comes over and he can't stay for dinner. So she's like, I'm going to send you home with something. And then second later, she comes out with like a bag full of like...
And he's like, how'd you do that?
Right. And she goes, I have my secrets or something. Like, does she have powers, do you think?
No, I took it as she had that food ready already.
Because I will tell you, so my friend Rabia, who's she co-moderates the Korean study group with me during the week. She is Indian Egyptian, and she said that all of this was so authentic. And she was like, this is her childhood. Like watching this, she's like, this relationship. She basically, someone who knows better, gave this a seal of approval in terms of being authentic to the culture. And I will tell you, between her and the normies, they were all saying the same thing. Like, oh yeah, this is just like what we do. Like, so I couldn't tell if they were making that joke. You know what I mean? Like, they were like, yeah, this is what we do in our culture. Like, your mom's gonna send you home with like 6 cartons of food. So was it a joke, like a nod to that? Or like, are we supposed to really, why is my dog the worst? Are we supposed to like question like how she did it that fast? Does that make sense?
I'll say that the way that it read to me was like it was like hyperbolic, where it was like.
So it is like a nudge, like.
Yeah, like she went in the other room, then she came back with food really quickly, and then like the fact that he said, "Oh, how'd you do that so fast?" Like the way that he said that, it just felt like it was supposed to be like taken as a joke.
Okay.
Because like she's like you said, she's gonna send him home with a lot of food. And like she does it all the time.
Raj from the normies was like, when that happened, he was like, yeah, you go to a brown person's house, you're gonna leave with food. I was just sitting there nodding. I'm like, And that's funny because did you guys hear, well, John, I know you're on Twitter way more than Donnie is, that whole debate, I guess, what was it, last week or the week before, about not offering food to guests?
Yeah, well, in Sweden, is it?
In Sweden, like they just don't do that. Like culturally, it's not a thing. And somehow it got even more specific to like not feeding other people's kids if they're at your house. And yeah, so it's a lot of white folks, again, unprovoked, just telling us their shitty customs and then getting offended when everybody else is like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
That's so weird. It's like
why aren't you, like, I don't know if you saw, but like I actually got into like this debate, this like, he like legit was just like, so what, he was like, wait, so what you're saying is, if your kids your kids come in the house and they come in with some kids from the neighborhood and you're about to like eat, what you're saying is you would offer these kids food.
Yeah.
And I retweeted and I was like, he legit just asked, dead ass serious, would you feed a child?
I mean, why is that weird?
And so then when the rest of us were like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he was like, all defensive. He's like, well, you don't know their family's dinner plans. Well, then you call, you dipshit. You get permission. You find out if they have any allergies. But what you don't do is just ignore them and eat around them or tell them to leave because you don't, like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's like, yeah, you wait in the living room. We're going to go in the kitchen. We're going to eat.
And that's exactly what they said they do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That the kids just, they just sit there and nothing of it. You just don't eat at other people's houses. And I was like,
that's so weird. I mean, I didn't go to people's houses, but I just can't imagine. That just is so weird to me. Very. That you wouldn't just be like, yeah, I have food. Do you want some food?
Mannerless, just mannerless. Anyway, so let's see. Oh, but her parents, they try super, super hard, and they come up with what they believe is a compromise. Well, it is a compromise, right? It's like you get something and give up something, and I get something and give up something. Except they wanted her to give up too much.
Yeah, it's like, here, we're bringing you. You're gonna be an escort, and you have to dress up like we tell you to dress up. Like,
Yeah.
that was a little too much.
I felt so bad for her dad though.
I did too.
I did too.
Because he committed to that shit.
And that's the thing, is like, you can tell, like, they still see her as their little girl too. Like, she's their daughter, their little kid. So it's like, yeah, let's dress up together as Hulk. And it's like, she's 16 in this?
Yeah.
And it's just like, that ain't gonna work.
Right. And you can't, like, I get it, but, like, and then I felt bad because it actually looked cool. Like, that's, like, the type of cosplay, like, if someone tweeted that, like, look, me and my dad, we'd be like, oh, that's so cool, right? I would.
I would have loved my parents to have been that into something.
Right? Like, but, like, you get what I'm saying. If we saw this and someone was like, look, this is my, Pakistani American dad going to his first con, and we're representing our culture, like, we would totally be like, oh, that's so cool. But nah, she ain't thinking like that. She's like,
yeah, she's a teenager. And, like, when I was a teenager, like, maybe I wouldn't have loved it for my parents to be in. I don't know, because, it's when you're a teenager, that's the kind of shit that you I don't know, you learn as you get older that, like, yeah, this is actually nice stuff. Mm-hmm. These are nice things that your parents would have done. Like, it's,
That's why I'm so, like, I don't know if it's a generational thing, older than you, John, I'm sorry. But, like, I really feel like I'm lucky enough, and also the fact that my parents had me really young. They were teenagers, right? So I have a lot of time with them, but it feels like there's, like, this interesting intersection of, like, stuff, like, with the internet, that I'm able to share stuff with my parents that I don't think that they would have been able to share with their parents, because it just wasn't done. Like, gaming. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, and in turn, I game with my kids. But then even more than that, like, even the stuff here that we're discussing, like comic books, like, I'm talking about characters that my dad was reading in comic books before I was born. Now I'm sitting on a podcast talking about the history of a character. Like, you know what I mean? Like, back then, that he would have never dreamed that would be a thing, right? Like, some I'm picturing him going to the, police academy, sitting there on the train reading an Iron Man comic book. Would never imagine that this many years later, like, it would be, like, this big. But I get to share stuff like this with my kids. Yeah. With us, it's like anime. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so, like, fortunate that I get to have stuff like that with... Right, Donnie? You know what I mean? That we get to, like, take Jack to a movie and we have the same interest. It's not like a movie we're going to because he wants to see it and it's a chore for us. Like, we're all genuinely interested in these things.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I just don't know, like, that my parents' generation had that with their parents.
We didn't have anything. I didn't have anything in common. Like, I guess, like, when I was a kid, I didn't have... It was just my mom, but yeah, we didn't have anything in common that we could go and share and do the same type of things with.
Yeah, I didn't have any of that shit. But I know, Nina, you also have another layer with your dad, because, speaking of, like, Marvel, because, like, he has experience, right?
What?
The movies and shit.
Like, working on them, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, so, like, right.
so you also have, like, that layer of it. So,
like, I you know what? Complete brain fart. And it's not even Monkey Slut's fault. Like, I legit didn't know what the fuck you were talking about.
That's what I mean. It's like, he's more in tune with all this shit as it's become more popular.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, right, like you said, my dad was for a while doing precision driving on film sets, things that are shooting in Atlanta, and he was able to actually work on, I think he worked on Civil War, right?
Yeah.
Did he also do some work on Black Panther? I can't remember. I have to ask him. But I definitely know Civil War. And I definitely remember him telling this story of being on set and then just from behind you hearing that voice. I can't remember exactly what the sentence was, but motherfuckers. And it's Samuel L. Jackson. And just like, hearing him say that in your presence, it's like that iconic voice saying that word.
That's awesome.
So anyway, hold on. Let me get my notes back open. Oh yeah. So I felt bad about this, but you know what I didn't understand? I didn't understand why it had to, it felt a little nasty at the end. Like, she hurt her dad's feelings, right? She was like, this is humiliating. And I was like, God damn, that stung. I felt bad for him. But then her mom was like, either you go and wear this or you don't go at all. And it felt like, I don't know, it just felt real, mean.
Yeah, it was like punishment.
And I was like, is it because she hurt dad's feelings?
Yeah, yep.
I don't know. That just felt weird. And then for her dad to, it felt like then even he was like he felt bad at first, but then he goes, you're not going. And I was like, what? Why are we? I don't know.
And they didn't even, trust her outfit. They never even saw her outfit, but they didn't trust it. And I don't even think her outfit was skimpy.
It wasn't bad at all.
It wasn't bad at all. But they would immediately, without even seeing it, put it
and
down.
And by bad, no, I mean, because what's bad, right? But it wasn't anything that I think that they were fearing.
I mean, no skin showing. It wasn't
right.
tight.
And I'm sure that's what they were fearing. And it wasn't bad at all. Yeah.
Yeah, would that be another extension? I mean, I'm a white guy. So, talking about this is well, I should just shut up. But, I mean, was that, it seemed like a cultural, representation.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they were you can't wear anything tight.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or anything like that.
Yep.
I felt like they really got their feelings hurt because, they felt like they were going, they felt like they were giving in a lot with what they were offering. And when she said it was going to be embarrassing to go, I was like, I feel like that's why they got mean about it or got nasty about it, is because they felt like they were doing a lot.
But you know what? That's on them because nobody asked for all that. True. She asked to go. And if you wanted to go with her, I thought they were reasonable until they weren't, right? If you're look, we're going to drive you, or Abu's going to drive you, and he's going to go in with you for 2 hours. Now, what I didn't get was, the first time I watched this, I thought what they were saying was he was going to go in with her for 2 hours, and then he was going to jet.
Yeah, that's what I...
and then he'd come back and pick her up when it was done. But even if they said, he's going to go with you, and you can only stay 2 hours, and he's going to be there with you, then you say, okay, well, if the contest is what's important, I would try to figure out a way to make, you start from there. Now you're negotiating, right? All of this felt reasonable to me. But why they then decided to make costumes, and how the fuck she do that so fast? I'm telling you, she got powers. Nah, but for real. Because she went out and made those costumes, paint his skin, and now you're surprised? Nobody told you to do all of that. You should have just said, you can go, but he has to take you, and he has to go inside with you. And then she would be like, well, there's the contest, this is what I want to wear. Then you at least see it. They just got unreasonable for no reason. Well, that's what unreasonable means. But you get what I'm saying. So I don't know, I felt bad that his feelings got hurt, but you kind of set yourself up for that.
Yeah, it really felt I mean, again, I'm not a parent of anyone, so I don't know shit about this other than having been, a child. But it did feel this was one of those moments where they still think that they are 100% like in charge of everything, and like, but she's like wanting to be her own person. And so they're like, doing that thing where like, oh, we're gonna dress up and and it's like, no, I want to make some decisions on the thing that I want to do as, a 16-year-old girl.
She, her mother's gorgeous though. She's unreasonable, but my God, that woman's very pretty. But yeah, I did feel bad for the dad. And then when she sneaks, I'm presumed like she snuck out to go hang out on the rooftop with Bruno, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That went well. Like, why can't you just do what you did that night?
Because they stayed out too long.
True. But when I guess they talk over the radio, right? They have like walkie-talkies, of course they do. And she gives like the code that they need to talk or whatever, and he goes, "Does this mean you need to talk or that you fell into the Hudson for the third time?" And she goes, "No, that's Black Sloth Down, and I only fell in once." Black Sloth Down.
She calls herself a sloth.
Yes. So she comes up with this plan, and of course, like, we know when they show it going the way that they were showing it going, it's not going to go that way.
Yep.
I love that so much, the way that you could see like everything that, like, jumping off the bridge.
Yes. And notice how good her costume looked.
Yeah, it was actually, I mean, it looked just like Captain
It was
Marvel.
the costume, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like they got Brie Larson's costume.
Yeah. Well, even him, because she had him dressed up as fucking Iron Man. Not Iron Man, but the what's his name?
Oh, I don't know what you know what's funny? I've watched this episode twice. I do not pay him any attention. I could not tell. The only thing I know for sure is that when she left his gloves, or those photon gloves, in the bathroom, he improvised what he had, and then he put the white lab coat on and said he was Bruce Banner. Anything else he wore in this episode, I can't tell you what it was.
Well, no, in that scene, that imagination, he was Tony Stark, but as Tony Stark. So he had the mustache and the glasses.
Okay. He's basically,
because she didn't know what he was going to be, because they were both.
Got it.
He was being secretive.
He prefers Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Zuzu.
All right.
Right?
Bless you.
He made Zuzu for the family. And I like the way her father was so trusting to let Bruno hook up the Zuzu.
Yeah, that's something that, like, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that really sold to me that he's been in their lives for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, like, that was controlling everything in their house. And he trusted that. Yeah. But unfortunately, they almost maybe was going to see some shit they didn't want to see. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, some fucking. That's what you meant, right?
Yes. I did mean the fucking. But really what I expected you to say was, you mean the scene where the dad was flirting with the mom, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, where he was rubbing her
But
shoulders.
we will also accept fucking, yes.
Judges, yes. Fucking.
So yeah, things don't go as planned. The bike thing kind of pissed me off. Cause like, who does that? I mean, I get it's Jersey, but shit, who does that?
I know, the bus driver's like, nope, fuck it, you're leaving your bike.
What a dick.
You gotta schedule. You gotta keep the schedule.
Whatever. I actually thought AvengerCon looked quite cool.
They look like in a back alley of a high school gymnasium. Like...
Jesus Christ.
I thought it looked cool, like if I were me at 16.
The funniest
Like,
thing is,
that
the
would've been
funniest
awesome.
thing is, instead of having like the real Avengers there, they had like actors playing Avengers that were doing autographs, and I thought that shit was funny.
They had the cast of that Rogers the Music.
doing fucking autographs.
I can do this all day.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting some candy. So, so in the books, how she gets her powers is completely different. In the book, she's an Inhuman, right? Because there's the whole... I didn't finish it, and I know, John, I don't think you ever really watched it. But do you remember in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Donnie, the whole... whatever that, the Terrigen stuff, like that, whatever, if you're exposed to it, and you have that gene,
Right.
you will get powers.
You
would go into that
eventually,
cocoon
at some
thing.
point in your life, you would turn into a cocoon and get powers.
Right. And so remember there was like a mid-season or a season finale where I thought that stuff went out into like some canned food or something. Or
Yeah,
some
it went out. It went
vitamins
out
or something.
Yeah, it ended up in like the ocean or some shit. But yeah, it ended up to where it was exposed to everybody in the world.
Okay, so in the comics, she goes to... I don't remember if she sneaks out or not. But I thought it was like a school dance thing. I don't think it was a convention. But there is... And I think she is in costume. I don't think it's a convention. Oh my god, I'm going to pull up the first issue. But anyway. Coming back from that, she is exposed to that Terrigen mist stuff. And so she gets these powers to embiggen.
Yeah, embiggen. In itself is a cultural reference.
So
Marvel's just doesn't want Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to happen, so they're just trying to erase all of that.
well, I think like you can't do that here because like there's no setup for that.
Right.
They had to come up with something else. Now, the powers coming from the bracelet, which she decided to take with her as her possible flourish, I like because it means it has a cultural reference.
Right.
Like, because they already mentioned the Jinn twice. Did you catch that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, where do we get to see one? Hello?
That would be cool.
That would be cool, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm all for them exploring that. So it's different, but I like it.
Yeah, I thought the powers, it's very Green Lantern-y.
Yeah.
Like the new way
Yeah.
that she's using her powers. But like,
So
I
what
understand...
is that exactly? When she goes up on stage, what is that first thing that kind of like, what is that? What did that look like to you that was coming like out of her hand?
It was like an overshield.
What the fuck is an overshield?
Like, I'm just thinking like a video game, a Halo or something like that. You get like an overshield, so you get your normal health, but then you get an overshield, like an extra part armor. But that's what it kind of
Okay, I gotcha.
reminded me of. It's just like this extra armor came over her body.
Go ahead, John. What were you gonna say?
It looked like, like psionic shit. Coming out of her. Like, it really looked like Green Lantern, like the way that they represent the way he creates constructs.
So just like energy, basically.
Yeah, like an energy thing. Yeah.
Science.
Yeah, science, shit.
Yeah, some science shit. Why the fuck did they have that prop strong enough to, like, I thought Zoe was dead.
Look, let me just say that she knocks off this Ant-Man head. Everybody started cheering and clapping and screaming like they were all excited. Like this Ant-Man head's still rolling and hitting people, but they were still partying like they thought it was the most amazing thing in the world.
Because they thought it was part of the thing.
But there's people screaming and running.
What is that giant man head made of? Is it like rubber? Because like it bounced
That shit was
and
rolling.
rolled, and then it bounced again, and then like 30 seconds later, it's like, "Hey, I'm back." Where'd this thing come from? Somebody push it? Like, what happened? Because it just kept bouncing around, and then I don't know, like that. It did not look safe to have that hammer just up there.
When it hit her, oh my god.
Yeah, I completely thought she was dead.
I was like, oh, she's dead. I was like, oh, we just
no.
killing people episode 1.
But it was honestly, it was very, I will say that part of it felt very like Disney Channel original TV series. Where it's like, she got hit by this huge hammer that like she should have died, but like it was really just Goofy like hanging off of the hammer, like, oh no, help me, like that kind of thing. It was like very cartoonish in live action. I wonder. Play.
Well, I'm of course people got that on video. If her mom sees that, she's gonna know, right?
Mm-hmm. She's gonna be like, wait a minute, that bracelet. I used to do that with a bracelet. Or she's going to be like, pull up her sleeve and she's going to have a bracelet on.
I'm going to go beat her ass. So when her mom was waiting in the dark like a fucking villain. Oh my Lord. And they really did go with that whole, disappointing my parents, that's the worst punishment. No. I got my ass beat. I wish it was just, we're so disappointed, Nina.
Right.
I would welcome.
She didn't get grounded.
I know. I got my ass beat. Okay.
Like, it's just like, oh, we're disappointed.
She left her with, think about that, Kamala. Yes. I was like,
her mom was sitting there waiting to invite her to join the Avengers. She was like, welcome home.
You pick this cosmic lifestyle, or you pick.
That was really sad, honestly, but like, I just feel like whenever you say you either choose this thing you want or your family, it's like kids gonna choose the thing they want,
right?
Because they're a kid. They don't, they really want the thing they want. So if you give an ultimatum like that, I feels like it's gonna be bad. Especially,
you know what though, like, I feel like, I mean, obviously this doesn't make for a good TV show, but like, I absolutely would have told my mom because the bracelet came from her mom. I absolutely would have told my mom because that would have completely deflected from the fact that I just got caught. I'd have been like, okay, Mom, I understand you're disappointed, but look at this.
Right.
Like, tell me what these bracelets are. I would have absolutely said something, but I know that's not how TV works.
Yeah, and I feel like they did a good job, like, establishing the relationship that Kamala has with her parents. And that I don't feel like Kamala wouldn't have told her mom. You know what I mean? I don't think Kamala would have told her mom.
Oh, no. Yeah. I know. I'm saying me.
Yeah.
I would have absolutely told my mom. Like, I wouldn't have been able to hold that secret. And I'm telling you why. I would have told her, one, because it was her mother. So I would be like, what the fuck? And knowing me the way I am, I literally would have said to her, what the fuck?
So you thought this was junk, but look, it's not junk.
No, I would have been like, you lied.
Oh, really? You would have been like, you knew all along that this was not junk.
Fuck yeah! I'd be like, Jean, you knew.
I'm thinking we see why you got your ass beat.
I've been like, the fuck were you and Anna up to? But also, again, depending on like how much trouble I thought I would be in, I would have like magic bracelet. Why would we ever want to talk about me sneaking out the house when we have magic bracelets to talk about? Focus, Mom, focus.
Then she would take the magic bracelet and beat your ass with it.
I was going to say the other thing is that I think, well, now Kamala, she's not going to tell her mom because, one, they just don't have that type of relationship. But two, she absolutely knows her mom would never let her see that bracelet again. That would be the last bracelet she ever sees in her life. Like, she would be barred from bracelets. Yeah. So I don't think you said, John, who do you think the bracelet belonged to? Her mother or her grandmother, or both? Oh, you did say both, right?
Yeah, I think it's a family thing. It feels like it's
Like the Black
probably
Panther?
something her grandmother had. Yeah, maybe something like that. I mean, I really want y'all to watch Turning Red,
Okay.
because then I could say like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that it's more of a family thing. Where like her great grandmother probably had it, and her great grandmother probably had it. You know, that kind of thing.
And Donnie, you just think it's the grandmothers.
Yeah, I just think the mother would be more protective of the bracelet rather than just throw it in the box in the attic.
And maybe she's like this because she knows, like, what it cost her family when her mom was out there superheroing it up. Oh
Yeah, it would
my
be
god.
interesting.
I just thought of something. Never
But I
mind.
just feel like she was, even in this scene, that she would have seen the bracelet on her because she was wearing it. I don't know.
It would be interesting if the mom knows about it, but when she was Kamala's age, she chose not to use the bracelet.
She's like, I'm just going to go to school. Get a real
She
job.
chose family,
Yeah.
but she knows what it's capable of. Whatever.
Girl, I guess. So yeah, that's the first episode. She saves Zoe.
Then runs away.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the end credit scene.
Right. And apparently that cop or agent is from, oh my god, one of the Spider-Man movies.
Oh, really?
Oh.
I didn't know.
I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, he interviews Peter, I think. He interrogates Peter. He's in one of the Spider-Man movies, apparently.
Oh, he's in No Way Home.
Oh, okay. Well, what does he do?
Do you want me to? I mean, I guess you know if it's in the movie, it's not a spoiler.
Yeah. I mean, it's
he's
just,
in,
it seemed like, most people knew this. I'm not as familiar with those movies, so I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, he's in Damage Control, the U.S. Department of Damage Control. So he's a government agent.
Right, and I saw a comment where they said what specifically that agency does, but I don't remember.
Damage control.
Yeah, they.
That's right. They clean up after the superhero mess, right?
Yeah, like the company like in the comics, the company repairs the damage that's done, after shit happens. I'm not sure if that's specifically what they do in the MCU, or if it's more like a different kind of agency. I'm not sure. Like, because I mean, it seems like they're gonna go get her and bring her in.
Right.
They plan to do here. So that doesn't sound like a construction company to me.
I saw some people speculating that he is a Kree or a Skrull.
Yeah.
Skrull, yeah.
I feel like every one of these shows has to have a fucking scroll in it somewhere.
Yeah.
Because you're leading up to the secret invasion.
But also, he's Mephisto.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Can't forget that. I've been, these last couple, I'm scrolling through my Comixology titles, and I have a lot of fucking comic books. My God.
Yeah.
I had to go back and read some. I've been reading some Darth Vader because of Obi-Wan. Mm-hmm. Pretty good. Pretty good. Anyway, I figure if I pay for this shit every year, I might as well take advantage of it, right?
Right. That's one reason why the Comixology thing pisses me off so much, is because like I can't read the things I have.
But your only way to access that app is through the desktop.
Yeah, I can use the web app, or I can use my phone.
You don't want to read it on your phone.
No, I mean I've read comics on my phone, but like, I just don't know why. I just don't know why they didn't just make it the same as it was. Mm-hmm. Like they made it demonstrably worse.
All right. Well, that's it. That's it for this episode. I'm super excited to watch more. I'm happy that it's really good. I'm happy that most people who aren't racist pieces of shit love it, and that the reviews, the early reviews were good. I was scared to look. And I think, Donnie, you said in our group chat a few days ago that they were good. And then I just breathed like a sigh of relief. I was like, whew.
Yeah.
So I'm happy it's good.
And all the reviewers got the first 2 episodes. And that's what I thought we were going to get to, but we didn't.
And no, it's funny because I remember when reviewers first got those first 2 episodes like a week or so ago. Mm-hmm. And then, or 2, maybe even longer than that. But then someone else, I guess, like, a week later, they got screeners for the next 2. And then that's when they tweeted and said, okay, I've now seen 4 episodes of Ms. Marvel. And I think they said, I am confident and comfortable in saying it's the best one so far of the Marvel shows. So that got me super excited.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. So anyways, thank you guys for listening. We're covering this one weekly, so we'll be back. We're recording on the weekends. So we'll be back next week to talk about Ms. Marvel episode 2.